Hey everybody, this is Rustin with AXS and Metal Nation. We're joined today by Rich Moss of Stone Broken. How's everything in your world, my friend?
It's going good so far. Not too bad.
I understand you guys had to cancel part of your tour with Adelita's Way due to visa issues.
Yeah, I mean, we were all set to go over for the start of the tour, and, sometimes these things don't really work out as you plan, so unfortunately we're going to miss the first part of the tour, but Adelita's Way have been cool enough to say jump on the third week, so that's pretty cool.
Converse to that, congratulations on the new album, Ain't Always Easy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it's a true radio-ready arena rock record. It's fantastic. So for those of us, especially here in the States, give us a little backstory on Stone Broken. I mean, I know you had stepped away from music for a while and then were sort of drawn back into it.
Yeah, I've been in and out of bands for years and years and years. I've done this since I was back in school. And there was one particular band which happened to be the one just before Stone Broken, where we got a few members together and we started writing songs. And one of our band members suffered from alcohol abuse, and he got really caught up in that, and he ended up actually passing away. Which for me it was a real tough blow to kind of get back on the feet after that had happened. But I think once you start the life of being a musician, you can never really put that down. So after 2 years of not doing anything, me and Robin, our drummer, we put together Stone Broken. Robin knew Kieran, our bass player, and Kieran used to be in a band with Chris, our guitarist. So we kind of forged two separate bands together, and Stone Broken was born kind of like 4 years ago. We've tried our best ever since then.
Robin, I guess you've known for a while. Chris and Kieran newer to the project, but it sounds like you guys have quite a chemistry together.
Oh yeah, we when we first all got together as a band, we locked ourselves away for about a year just to bond as people and as musicians, so we could hit the ground running as soon as we were ready.
Well, sort of circling back to what I said before, a lot of people don't know much about Stone Broken yet, so I feel almost embarrassed to ask this question, but the first time you do an interview, there's almost those Wikipedia-type questions you have to ask.
Yeah.
So collectively as a band, who are some of the artists you guys have drawn influence from in creating your own style?
We listen to a lot of American rock. We listen to the bands like Shinedown and Alter Bridge, Hinder was one that we listen to, and that's kind of our middle ground. Obviously we all have other kind of influences that we have sort of separately, but collectively it's that that big American riff hard rock sound. That's kind of what we're all drawn to, and we're just doing sort of our version of that, I guess. We've got our influences, and we're just using that as a way, as a place to start, and then we bring our own sort of style to that sort of genre.
So you guys received a wonderful response to your last record, All in Time. What did you want to do with Ain't Always Easy that you didn't get to do with the last record?
I think we wanted to be a little bit more diverse with the songs that we were writing. We wanted to have some real sort of heavy, sleazy sounding rock songs, but then we also wanted some quite nice melodic softer rock songs, and some of the songs have got like a little hint of southern rock and a little bit of country in there. So we just wanted to write a record which would just show what we can do as a band, but also not just to showcase these kind of songs, but to actually flow throughout a whole album. This is Stone Broken. It's kind of a statement in a way, in musical form. So that's what we wanted to achieve with this one.
There's a good amount of diversity on the record. You do have sort of that dirty edge to some of the stuff, but there's also a lot of poignancy on the album as well.
Yeah, we wanted to write songs that meant something. There's a load of, especially in rock, there's a load of songs which are just about sort of either cars, girls, all that sort of stuff, and which is great. That the whole kind of rock vibe. But if you used to take that attitude and then have a message behind the lyrics, I think you reach a different level of rock music. We've had a lot of people say that they can relate to our songs because of the lyrics and the emotion behind the song. And I think rock is a great carrier of that, so that's what we wanted to try and do.
Oh, absolutely. And so let's jump ahead here a bit then and talk about some of the songs. And you had sort of alluded to this earlier. The new record has tracks that address some serious issues such as addiction. I'm a former drug and alcohol counselor myself, and I know, as you mentioned, there's a personal connection for you as well. Was it difficult to write these songs, or did you find it cathartic?
It's a tough one, really, because it was nice to be able to write about these different issues, in that I knew that it could help someone who was listening, but then also revisiting the actual part of my life that these songs stemmed from was quite tough, and it was quite an emotional time, because although it's not me personally that's dealt with any form of addiction, like I said before, the old guitarist in our band, he ultimately died from drinking too much alcohol, and it brought back a lot of emotion and a lot of memories. But ultimately, I think that what that has done is it's given us a great subject matter to be honest about and to really sort of hit home. We've got a lot of emotion running through the whole album because of these kind of things. So it in a way, it does kind of help you to close the door on a situation by laying it all out. But then in the process of writing it, it brings it back to the forefront, which can be a bit rough at times.
And in that same vein, Heartbeat Away, which you guys did a video for, touches on the issue of domestic violence and abuse. Tell us a bit about that one.
Yeah, again, this is something that I've been fairly close to. It's not about me, it's about a situation that I saw I was very close to. And it's written about how domestic abuse not only still happens and happens regularly behind closed doors, but also the effect that it has on the people who are being abused and the people close to them. Because someone who is in that situation will almost cut themselves off from their family, or feel as though they have to do that, or won't tell their friends about it because they're scared of the repercussions. But really, it's there to say, family are a strong unit, and they will be there for you no matter what. The title suggests it, only a heartbeat away. That's about going out and getting help. If you're in a bad situation, then try and do something about it, because you'll always have someone there for you, and don't be scared to do that. That's kind of the message of that song, and that comes from a personal story which I felt that I wanted to write about on this record.
Right, and for those who are outside of it looking in at it, it's always sort of hard because you feel a little bit impotent because you can't help until they ask you.
That's it. You don't want to step in, and you can probably see the signs, but it's easier to see the signs once you know that it's occurring, which is always it's a catch-22. And like you say, if they're denying that any of this is all happening, it's tough to get involved, which is why it's kind of a message to the person who's being abused. Reach out, man. Just get some help, because it doesn't have to be this way.
So on the positive side of things, you have the hopeful and uplifting I Believe, which has that, as you alluded to before, that southern rock flavor to it.
Yeah, that song is kind of written about how I used to look at music growing up. I used to get in from high school, and I used to go straight up into my bedroom and just play guitar all night long and watch YouTube videos of all these different rock bands, and I used to wish that I could do exactly what they do. And now, in some respects, we're getting to do that, and we're not taking it for granted. We respect and we love the fact that we can do it day in, day out. So, and it is a positive song, because we're very lucky that we're able to do this now. And I mean, we're from the UK, and right now I'm having an interview for American radio, which is crazy, to think sort of only about 8 or 9 years ago I'd be sat in my bedroom just trying to write something and nothing was happening, so it's a pretty cool situation that we're in right now. So yeah, there's a lot of positivity on the album too.
It's funny, I was just speaking with Chris from Blackstone Cherry the other day about the affinity for that southern rock sound over in the UK, because they're huge over there.
They fill arenas over here, you know. And we've actually met the guys from Blackstone Cherry a couple of times. We've played a few things that they've been playing as well. And you know what? They're great guys, but they are Southern through and through. You know, they're great to hang with.
You worked with Ramesh again on this record as producer. Did that familiarity help you, you know, sort of allow you to stretch out a bit on this record? And what does he sort of bring to the table for Stone Broken?
Well, we know his style, you know, because we worked with him on the first record. Also, he knew what we wanted to achieve. You know, the first record was great, and we loved working with him. But for this record, we wanted to step it up, and he knew that we did. You know, so he knew what he had to do in order for us to be happy with it. So going back to him, it was quite relaxed. He had all the tracks that we demoed. He had to listen to them, and he always knows exactly what to do as soon as we get into the studio. So we get in, and it's straight to work. And we were there for 3 weeks solid, and we just got to nail the whole album in one kind of long session, which was great, you know. And that's the way that he works, and I think that kind of brings out the best in us, because our head is constantly in the game, and it helps to focus us to make that great record. But also, he brings his kind of flair to the whole thing. So although he won't make major changes to our songs, he will add his little touches in there, which it makes the difference. And that's the beauty of working together. We've always felt like it's a great match, us and Ramesh. And you know, he's just a great producer.
So that was maybe the most comfortable side of it. Aside from the deeply personal lyrics on parts of the album, what was the most challenging aspect of making the new record?
The most, it was actually the amount of time that we had to write it. We ended up writing the whole record in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Which, yeah, I mean, we set aside kind of 3 months to write this record, and then we landed a UK and European tour with Glenn Hughes, and you just don't say no to a tour with Glenn Hughes. So that actually took half of our writing time away. And as soon as we got off that tour, literally had 6 weeks until we were in the studio. So it was quite a pressurized and stressful time. But like I said, we'd just come off tour with Glenn Hughes, so we were more than inspired to write it. But that was the most challenging thing, was the time scale that we actually ended up having.
Excellent. Rich Moss, Stone Broken, the new album Ain't Always Easy, out now. Rich, thanks so much for taking some time to catch up with us.
Cheers, thank you. Thanks for having me.